Have you felt it? That strange feeling that you no longer belong in the same conversations you used to, that you listen more than you speak, that you see things others laugh past, and sometimes you wonder if something is wrong with you. Let me tell you softly tonight, when Allah gives a soul wisdom, the world does not always know what to do with it. And if this video found you in a quiet moment, it is because something inside you is changing. Wisdom makes you slow in a fast world. My dear brother, my dear sister, let me sit with you in this quiet moment when the world finally loosens its grip on you. The day has asked so much from your mind, your body, your heart. Messages, expectations, worries, things you never had time to say out loud. And now, for the first time, you are here. Still, breathing, listening. Outside your screen, life is still moving quickly. People are rushing from one place to another, from one thought to the next. Voices are loud, opinions are sharp. Everyone seems to be in a hurry, to be right, to be seen, to be ahead. But you are not rushing right now, and that tells me something gentle about you. If you feel slower than the world lately, if you feel like you no longer match the pace of the people around you, do not be quick to call that a problem. Do not assume you are falling behind. Sometimes, when Allah places wisdom in a heart, He also places a pause. He teaches the soul to breathe before it speaks. He teaches the mind to feel before it decides. He teaches the heart to listen before it reacts. And in that pause, something begins to change inside you. You start noticing things you once moved past without seeing. You notice when someone's words do not match the feeling behind them. You notice when a place feels heavy before anything even happens. You notice when a choice looks beautiful on the outside but feels unsettled deep inside your chest. This is not overthinking. This is awareness. And awareness changes the way you move through the world. You no longer jump into every conversation. You no longer rush to defend yourself. You no longer feel the need to respond to every comment, every opinion, every moment of tension. Your silence becomes a space instead of an absence. Your words become a bridge instead of a weapon. Your reactions become measured instead of automatic. To people who live on impulse, this can feel confusing. They may not understand why you do not argue the way you used to. They may not understand why you do not chase attention, approval, or being right. But Allah is not shaping you for noise. He is shaping you for steadiness. Steadiness is the kind of strength that does not collapse when emotions rise. Steadiness is the kind of peace that does not disappear when situations change. Steadiness is the kind of presence that stays grounded even when everything around it feels uncertain. And the more you walk with this steadiness, the more you begin to feel something else growing quietly inside you. Trust. Trust in your heart. Trust in your choices. Trust that Allah is guiding you, even when the path feels slower than everyone else's. So if tonight you feel different from the world around you, if you feel quieter, softer, more thoughtful than you used to be, do not be afraid of that change. This slowness is not a loss. It is a sign that Allah is teaching your soul how to move with purpose instead of pressure. And purpose always lasts longer than speed. Not everyone wants clarity. Some people want comfort. My dear brother, my dear sister, let me speak to you gently here, because this lesson does not land loudly. It lands quietly, the way a truth settles into the heart long after the words have passed. There is something beautiful about clarity. It brings light into places that were once shadowed. It helps you see what is real, not just what feels good. But clarity also comes with a weight, because when Allah gives you the ability to see clearly, you begin to notice things others avoid. You notice when a conversation is built on distraction instead of meaning. You notice when a habit is dressed up as happiness. You notice when a relationship looks strong on the outside but feels fragile on the inside. And when you speak from this place, you do not speak to judge, you do not speak to expose, you speak to understand, to heal, to gently guide. But not every heart is ready for that kind of light. Some people are not searching for truth. They are searching for comfort. Comfort allows a person to stay exactly where they are. It tells them everything is fine, even when something inside them feels unsettled. It wraps habits in soft words and calls them normal. It turns patterns into personalities and says, "This is just who I am." Clarity does something different. Clarity asks questions. Clarity invites reflection. Clarity gently whispers, "You could become more than this." And that whisper can feel heavy to a heart that is not ready to change. So when you speak with calm understanding, some people may grow quiet. Some may laugh it off. Some may change the subject. Some may even pull away, not because you hurt them, but because your words reached a place they were protecting. You may notice this especially in moments when you try to speak about growth, about healing, about turning back to Allah, about letting go of what is not good for the soul. Instead of leaning in, some people lean back. They may say, "You are thinking too much." They may say life is not that deep. They may say you should just relax. But what they are really saying is, "Please do not ask me to look inside right now. And my dear brother, my dear sister, that is not your failure. That is timing." Allah opens hearts in moments you cannot control. He softens souls in ways you may never see. Your role is not to force clarity into every space. Your role is to carry it gently. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is not to speak more, but to live what you see, to move with patience, to respond with kindness, to choose peace where others choose reaction. Because clarity does not always change people through words. Sometimes, it changes them through presence. So if you feel like your understanding sets you apart at times, if you feel like you see paths others are not ready to walk yet, do not let that make you bitter. Let it make you gentle, because the same Allah who opened your eyes is still working on their hearts, and He never rushes His work. Wisdom makes you less entertaining to the crowd. My dear brother, my dear sister, let me meet you in this quiet space where your heart feels a little heavier than it used to, not because something is wrong, but because something inside you has grown. There was a time when being around people felt easy. You laughed more, you spoke more. You filled the air with stories, reactions, and energy that made rooms feel alive. And now, you may notice that something in you has shifted. You still care, you still show up, but you do not perform anymore. And that change can feel confusing, both to you and to the people around you. When Allah places wisdom into a heart, He often removes the need to impress. You stop measuring your worth by how much attention you get. You stop chasing the feeling of being the most interesting voice in the room. Instead, you begin to value something quieter. Presence. You listen more deeply. You notice what is not being said. You sense the emotions behind the words. And when you speak with intention instead of impulse. In a world that thrives on distraction, this kind of depth can feel heavy to some people. They may not know what to do with your silence. They may not know how to respond when you do not jump into every joke or every debate. They may feel like the energy changes when you enter the room, not because it becomes cold, but because it becomes still. And stillness can feel uncomfortable to hearts that are used to noise. You may notice that certain invitations become fewer. Certain conversations grow shorter. Certain connections begin to fade without a clear reason. And in those moments, you may ask yourself, did I do something wrong? But listen to me gently. You did not become distant. You became deep. Allah did not take your light away. He refined it. There is a difference between a spark that entertains and a flame that warms. A spark catches attention for a moment. A flame stays and gives comfort. Not everyone is looking for warmth. Some people only want the excitement of the spark. Some people only want the sound of laughter without the weight of meaning. Some people only want the surface of connection, not the depth of it. And that is okay. Your path is not meant to meet every heart. Your words are not meant to land in every space. Your presence is not meant to be consumed by every crowd. Sometimes Allah separates a soul not to isolate it, but to guide it toward the people who are ready for what it carries. So if you feel like you no longer fit in the way you once did, if you feel like your silence speaks louder than your laughter, do not be afraid of that shift. This is not loss. This is alignment. Allah is moving you away from noise and toward meaning, away from being entertaining and toward being sincere, away from being everywhere and toward being where you are truly needed. And the hearts that are meant to find you will recognize the warmth in your flame, even in the quiet. Wisdom can feel lonely before it feels peaceful. My dear brother, my dear sister, let me sit with you in this part, because this is often the quietest and the heaviest part of the journey. There comes a moment when you realize you are no longer standing in the same place as the people around you. You still care for them. You still recognize their faces, their voices, their laughter, but inside, something feels different. It is not that you think you are better. It is that you feel deeper. You begin to crave conversations that heal instead of entertain. You begin to seek moments that connect instead of distract. You begin to want silence that brings you closer to Allah instead of noise that pulls you away from yourself. And in that shift, something changes in your world. Rooms that once felt full now feel hollow. Voices that once excited you now feel distant. Moments that once passed quickly now feel slow and heavy. You may sit among people and still feel alone, not because no one is there, but because no one is standing where your heart now lives. And that feeling can ache quietly at night, when you finally lay down and your thoughts have space to speak. You may ask yourself, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel separate, even when I am surrounded? But listen to me gently. This loneliness is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something is being built inside you. Allah often creates space around a soul before He fills it with something deeper. He removes certain distractions so your heart can learn how to sit with Him. He quiets certain connections so you can hear your own prayers more clearly. This is not isolation. This is invitation. An invitation to know yourself. An invitation to know Allah. An invitation to find peace that does not depend on being understood by people. At first, this space can feel empty. It can feel cold. It can feel like something has been taken from you. But over time, something else begins to grow there. Stillness, trust, a calm that does not shake when the world becomes loud again. And slowly, you begin to realize something beautiful. You are not alone in this quiet. Allah is there. In the silence of your room, in the softness of your breath, in the thoughts you cannot explain to anyone else. So if tonight you feel that gentle loneliness in your chest, do not push it away. Sit with it, because sometimes peace is born in the same place where loneliness once lived. Some people feel small around a calm heart. My dear brother, my dear sister, there is a kind of strength that does not announce itself when it enters a room. It does not raise its voice. It does not seek attention. It does not need to prove anything. It simply stands. And when you carry this kind of calm inside you, it changes the space around you in ways you may not even notice at first. You no longer react the way you used to. You no longer rise to every challenge, every comment, every moment of tension. You pause, you breathe, you choose your response instead of letting it choose you. And for some people, this is unsettling, because your calm can feel like a mirror that reflects their own rush, a mirror that reflects their own anger, a mirror that reflects their own need to be right, to be seen, to be in control. You may notice that around you, some people become louder, some become sharper, Some become uncomfortable in ways they cannot explain, not because you said something wrong, but because your stillness made them aware of their own storm. This is not about making anyone feel small. This is about revealing something inside them they were not looking at before. Your patience highlights their hurry. Your restraint highlights their impulse. Your peace highlights their unrest. And instead of leaning into that awareness, some people step away from it. They may avoid deep conversations with you. They may keep things on the surface. They may even distance themselves. And that can hurt, because you did not change to lose people. You changed because Allah softened something inside you. But listen to me gently. Not every heart is ready to sit with calm. Some hearts are still learning how to be quiet without feeling empty. Some hearts are still learning how to slow down without feeling lost. And your presence, without trying, invites them to do that work. So if you notice that certain people no longer meet you the way they once did, do not let that make you bitter. Let it make you compassionate, because every person you meet is carrying something unseen. Every soul is moving at a different pace. And the calm Allah placed inside you was not meant to push people away. It was meant to become a place of rest for the ones who are ready to sit beside you. Wisdom teaches you when to walk away. My dear brother, my dear sister, there comes a moment in a person's life that does not arrive loudly. It does not announce itself with a sign or a warning. It arrives quietly, like a feeling in the chest you cannot fully explain. You begin to notice that some conversations leave you tired instead of lighter. Some spaces leave you restless instead of peaceful. Some connections leave your heart heavy instead of whole. And at first, you try to fix it. You explain yourself more. You give more time. You offer more patience, because you believe that if you just try a little harder, things will feel right again. But wisdom begins to whisper something different. It whispers that not everything broken is meant to be repaired. It whispers that not every door closed is meant to be forced open. It whispers that not every battle is meant to be fought. So you start to pause. You listen to how your heart feels after certain moments. You pay attention to what drains you and what restores you. You notice which spaces bring you closer to Allah and which ones pull you away from yourself. And slowly, something changes in the way you move through the world. You stop chasing understanding from people who have already decided how they see you. You stop explaining your intentions to hearts that only listen to reply. You stop trying to be present in places where your presence is not truly welcomed. This does not come from anger. It does not come from pride. It comes from peace. Walking away, when guided by wisdom, is not rejection. It is protection. Protection of your heart. Protection of your faith. Protection of the quiet work Allah is doing inside you. You begin to realize that staying in a space that constantly wounds you is not patience. It is neglect. You realize that holding on to a connection that keeps pulling you away from your best self is not loyalty. It is fear of being alone. So you learn to release, not with harsh words, not with dramatic endings, but with a soft step back. And in that step back, Allah often opens a door you did not even know you were standing in front of. Because sometimes the path forward only becomes visible when you finally leave what was blocking your view. Wisdom makes you trust Allah more than opinions. My dear brother, my dear sister, there is a quiet shift that happens when wisdom settles deeply into the heart. You begin to notice how quickly people's opinions change. One day, they praise you. Another day, they question you. One moment, they support you. The next, they misunderstand you. And if you build your sense of self on those reactions, your heart will always feel unsteady. So Allah teaches you something softer but stronger. He teaches you to place your trust somewhere that does not move. You begin to care less about how you are seen and more about how you are guided. You begin to ask, not, what will people think, but, is Allah pleased with this step I am about to take? This does not make you careless with others' feelings. It makes you careful with your intentions. You still speak kindly. You still act gently. You still try to be fair. But you no longer let every voice decide your direction. There will be moments when choosing what feels right with Allah feels lonely with people. There will be moments when obedience looks like stepping away from applause. There will be moments when sincerity costs you approval. And in those moments, wisdom holds your hand. It reminds you that being understood by everyone was never the goal. Being guided by Allah was. You begin to walk with a quieter confidence. Not the kind that stands tall in front of others, but the kind that kneels comfortably in front of Him. Your steps become slower, but steadier. Your choices become fewer, but deeper. Your path becomes narrower, but clearer. And something beautiful happens inside you. You stop needing permission to be who Allah is shaping you to be. You realize that even if the world does not clap for your growth, Allah sees every struggle, every prayer, every choice you make in secret. And when you carry that awareness, opinions lose their weight. Because you are no longer walking for a crowd. You are walking with your Creator. The wisdom Allah gives is a trust, not a title. My dear brother, my dear sister, let me sit with you here at the end, in this quiet space where the words slow down and the heart has room to breathe. If Allah has given you wisdom, He did not place it in your heart to make you stand above others. He did not give it to you so you could feel separate from the world or better than it. He gave it to you so you could walk through the world gently. Wisdom is not something you wear for people to see. It is something you carry for people to feel. It shows in how you listen when someone is breaking. It shows in how you stay patient when someone is lost. It shows in how you choose kindness when someone gives you harshness. This is the quiet work of a heart Allah is shaping. You may never be praised for it. You may never be recognized for the restraint you show, the words you hold back, the prayers you whisper in secret. Most of the time, no one will see the battles you choose not to fight. But Allah sees them. He sees the moment you stay silent instead of responding in anger. He sees the moment you walk away instead of hurting someone back. He sees the moment you turn to Him instead of turning to bitterness. And in His sight, these moments are heavy with meaning. There will be days when carrying this wisdom feels tiring, when being gentle in a rough world feels like swimming against a strong current, when you wish you could be louder, sharper, less thoughtful, just so things would feel easier. But even then, Allah is near. He is near when you feel misunderstood. He is near when you feel unseen. He is near when you feel like your quiet effort does not matter. And in those moments, He reminds your heart of something simple and powerful. You were not given wisdom to win over people. You were given wisdom to stay close to Him. So carry it slowly, carry it humbly, carry it with mercy for yourself and for others. Because every soul you meet is walking a path you cannot see. Every heart you pass is carrying a story you do not know. And if tonight you feel different from the world around you, if you feel softer, deeper, more aware than you once were, let that be a comfort to you, not a burden. This is not a weight meant to break you. This is a light meant to guide you. And as you lay down, as the night settles around you, as your thoughts grow quieter, remember this: Allah does not entrust something precious to a heart He plans to abandon. He walks with you, in your silence, in your patience, in your becoming, and that is enough. Before you leave this moment, let me sit with you just a little longer. You could have closed this video. You could have moved on to another voice, another story, another distraction. But you stayed, and that tells me something about your heart. If tonight you felt understood, if something inside you softened or breathed a little easier, know this: Allah does not let a soul find a moment like this without purpose. Carry what you felt here into your next step, into your next conversation, into your next prayer. Let it shape how you listen, how you speak, how you move through the world. And when the noise returns, when life speeds up again, Remember this quiet place inside you where Allah met you. You are not walking this path alone. If these words gave you peace, let them become peace for someone else. Share them gently, the way you would share a light in a dark room. And if you wish to stay close to reminders like this, stay connected, not for a channel, not for a number, but for the moments your heart may need them again. May Allah guard your steps, soften your heart, and keep you steady in a world that rushes. Until we meet again, walk gently and trust deeply.